What's up guys, Six Path Pito here, doing my first Hunter x Hunter inverse battle analysis. So before we get into any scaling, just remember to leave a like and subscribe, as you don't want to miss any of my versus battle videos that are coming. I'll be pumping out bangers, so just stay tuned. But anywho, I won't keep y'all waiting much longer, so just cue the intro. Okay, well, y'all already know what this video is gonna be about. You clicked on the thumbnail expecting greatness, so that's what I'm here to bring to the table. So I'll be doing Adult Gon versus pre-Rose Meruem. I might do a post-Rose Meruem, but that's more suitable for a separate video, as there's more variables to go over. So let's just get into the stats of both of these characters, and then we can go over how the fight would play out. Okay, so for AP, we can safely assume that Meruem and Adult Gon are relative in strength. As Pito states in the manga, that Adult Gon could sink his fangs into the king, and in the anime, she makes it more clear by saying his power is now equal. There are more ways you can prove Adult Gon and Meruem are pretty close in power by comparing the damage dealt to Pito. So for Meruem, he slapped Pito with the intent to kill. I've seen some pretty stupid arguments against this that go along the lines of, well, you don't need full power to have killing intent. Think of killing a bug. You have killing intent, but you're not going all out. And then they push their anime glasses back like the little cliche because they think they're so smart. But the thing is, I'll tell you why this is kind of stupid. This is quite literally a false equivalence, as you're drawing an equivalence between two situations based on false reasoning, which is both situations having killing intent. So, the reason why it is not the same is because Meruem does not view Pito as a bug. Therefore, using this as an analogy is a false equivalence, as again, you're drawing an equivalence between two situations based on flawed reasoning. Now, I'll give a better scenario that better represents what happened. Let's say someone just insulted your mother gravely, and you scream out, "I'm going to kill you," and you punch them in the face. Would that not imply you're going all out? I would say it would, as you have killing intent with a bloodlust to severely harm someone. But why is this a better analogy? Well, what Pito did before Meruem slapped her was seen by Meruem as a grave insult to his intelligence. We know Meruem holds his intelligence very highly, so it would be a very good analogy to compare that to someone's mother, as we know insulting someone's mother is a grave insult. So essentially what I'm trying to say is he didn't see Pito as a bug, causing him a slight annoyance. He saw what Pito did more of an insult, and then slapped her with killing intent. Now that we got that out of the way, we can see that Meruem was able to make Pito cough up blood from that slap. This is firstborn Meruem, and he does get stronger after this, but we're just trying to gauge his power. For Adult Gon, we can actually look at the kick that sent Pito flying up into the air, and how it was actually able to not one-shot Pito, but only make her cough up blood. Again, relative damage as Meruem dealt. Although the kick did send her flying, that would not mean that Adult Gon dealt more damage, as again we can look at Netero sending Pito flying further than Adult Gon, which was actually stated in the manga to be 500 meters. And we know that Netero dealt no damage to Pito, didn't even make her cough up blood. And we also know that Netero's punches would be a lot weaker than what both Adult Gon and Meruem can do. So looking at this preponderance of evidence, all the statements and feats, we can safely assume that Meruem and Adult Gon are both relative in AP. So, I know what you guys are probably thinking already. What about his John Ken? Can't Gon amp himself with his John Ken? Well, you'd be correct in those sentiments, but we can actually quantify how much more. So first, there's a statement made by a Chimera ant about Gon's Jonken and how it is a 10 times multiplier. We can also look at how Jonken works. Jonken is basically a supercharged Ko, and Kon is shown to be a bare minimum 10 times amp. Why, you may ask? Well, Bisky explains that we usually cover our body with 10% of our aura, meaning Gon's normal punches have 10% of his aura. Then she explains that Ko focuses 100% of that aura into one spot, which would basically mean that it's a 10 times multiplier as you're using 10 times more aura. We can even look at the data book where it's stated towards Pito, who held a power second only to Meruem, Gon displayed a power on a higher level, and then it points to a panel of Gon using his Jonken. This would clearly imply that Gon's Jonken is on a higher level than the king, as it brings up Pitu. We know Gon's on a higher level than Pitu as he trumped her in every single way, and then it also brings up Meruem. There'd be no point in bringing up Meruem if the statement did not refer to Meruem, and this just basically goes along with Jonken being a 10 times amp onto Gon's base AP. And I just brought up the data book statement to show how the narrative goes along with Gon's Jonken hitting harder than Meruem. This pretty much means base to base, Adult Gon and Meruem are equals, but once Gon uses his Jonken, he'll be able to hit 10 times harder. So for the AP portion of the battle, Gon takes this as he's able to amp himself 10 times with Jonken. You could argue Meruem would be able to use Ko or something like that, but he has no feats showing that he has any knowledge in how to use Ko. And you could also argue Jonken is a greater amp than Ko, as it is a supercharged Ko with restrictions, and Kurapika's Nen teacher states that restrictions multiply power, so there's that. Now, let's move on to speed. For speed, this is usually hard to scale since there's no real cross feats unless you've read the manga as many times as I have and noticed small little details. The reason I say this is because I have literally never seen this argument floating around, and I'm pretty proud of myself for thinking of it. So I've already put half of this argument up already in regards to Gon versus Netero, but here I'll give you all the full scaling. So first we can look at the fact that Pito is able to perceive Netero's Guanyin. It's stated in the palace invasion that Pito just barely captured the movements of Netero's arms. The way Pito did this was basically by infinitely compressing her sensation of time to actually perceive Netero's movements. So I wouldn't say it's unfair to say that this is the limits of Pito's reaction speed, in base that is, before her Terpsichore puppet. We know that Netero's Guanyin is faster than Meruem, as it's stated by Meruem himself and the narrator. They both say that the Guanyin surpasses his own speed, so it wouldn't be unfair to say that the Guanyin is faster than Meruem. You guys must be wondering why I'm bringing up Pito and Netero in an Adult Gon versus Meruem debate. Well, the thing is that Adult Gon is able to perception blitz Pito on more than one occasion. For those of you who do not know what a perception blitz is, it's basically traveling a distance faster than someone's eyes could process. This would mean that Adult Gon's raw speed is so much faster than Pito's that Pito is unable to even process Adult Gon's movements. And we know that this Pito that is unable to process Gon's movements would have an even greater reaction speed than the one that was able to process Netero's, because Pito states once she uses Terpsichore that she is dancing past her limits. Again, we've already established that the limits of her reaction speed would scale to the Guanyin, while Terpsichore surpasses those very limits and is still unable to process Gon's movements. This would all lead to the fact that the full extent of Pito's reactions scale to the Guanyin, who is faster than Meruem. And now I am not saying that Pito is faster than Meruem, I am just saying her reaction speed would scale relative to the Guanyin, who is faster than Meruem's combat speed and travel speed, not reaction speed. So the fact that Adult Gon is faster than an even greater Pito's reaction speed would basically mean that Adult Gon is faster than Meruem as well. So I'll just give a little line of scaling that would basically go like this. Adult Gon's combat and travel speed scales higher than Terpsichore Pito's reaction speed, who scales higher than base Pito's reaction speed, who scales relative to Netero's Hatsu, who scales higher than Meruem's combat and travel speed. As you can tell, Gon kind of takes the speed portion of this battle as well. We can quickly look at battle IQ, since it'll be quick. For Meruem's IQ, we can look at the fact that he was able to decode Netro's attack pattern, which was stated to have a nigh infinite amount of combos. That's the greatest IQ feat we've seen in the whole series. Now, we can go over Gon's IQ. I hate this misconception around Gon that he's all around stupid. Yes, Gon is stupid, of course, don't get me wrong, but in battle, he's quite a crafty little kid. We see in his fight with the bomber, he's able to find the weakness in Genthu's Hatsu and deal a deadly blow to him. Although his plan resulted in himself losing his arm, he was still able to put together a plan in the heat of the moment. The second feat of Gon I'd like to look at is basically him using paper to mask his Jonken. This isn't much of an IQ feat, but it really shows how crafty Gon can be sometimes. And that he isn't just a punchy meathead guy, you know? But yeah, Meruem takes the IQ portion of the video clearly, as he's the superior mind. Okay, so now I'll just explain how the fight plays out. This fight is heavily favored at Adult Gon's side, as base to base they should be relative in punching power. But again, as I mentioned before, Gon can amp himself by over 10 times, if not greater. But the thing is, Meruem won't just let Gon charge up his attack. So how would Gon basically be able to tag Meruem with this? Well, we're gonna go off a standard battle assumption that Gon and Meruem start around 10 meters apart. This battle is basically Netro versus Meruem, but if Netro was a bit faster and had the same AP as Meruem. Gon charges at Meruem, as Gon will be the one hot-headed in this battle. Meruem is seeing that Gon has a higher speed, will try to keep his distance. After they trade a few blows, Gon will try to charge his Jonken. Meruem will see the overwhelming amount of aura and know what he must do. As Gon's charging it, Meruem will interrupt him and constantly do so, kind of like what we see in their fight with Knuckle. Gon, knowing he's facing off against the king of Chimera Ants, would charge a fake Jonken, again, just like what we seen in his battle with Knuckle, and he would tag Meruem with a normal base punch. This punch won't kill Meruem, but of course, it will do a good amount of damage, but Meruem will leap back again to assess the situation, but as he does, that's when Gon charges in again, and Gon being faster than Meruem, there isn't much time for Meruem to react. So, Meruem's eyes will widen up and hear Gon say round 2, which basically means Gon can use his Jonken without fully charging it again. We've seen that in his fight with Knuckles. And then once he's slam his Jonken into the back, either killing Meruem or rendering him incapacitated on impact. The winner, Adult Gon. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little video. I hope you took some Hunter x Hunter knowledge out of this, because I'm just trying to spread the wave. But again, remember to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. And yes, it does stroke my ego to see that subscription number go up, but if you don't subscribe, you'll be missing all the fire content I be dropping. But anyways, that's 6 Past Pito, signing out.
My nigga saying it that nigga talking up and he ain't on shit. I got like 50 rounds of business clip. If I know what you nigga, I'll be the fifth. Cause mommy still gon' love me, kid. Niggas tryna like, if it give me a bit. I'm like, nigga, fuck me good. The judge like, why you acting like a dick? I said I'm moving like I'm stinking dick.